All right, so this is the video recording for the working papers work together 3-3. Again, you are going to find it in your calendar view of your assignments in the textbook. And then what I'm going to ask you to do before we start is get a scrap piece of paper. So I'm going to talk more slowly through this one to make sure that everyone who's watching this benefits from it. So you are going to be in the calendar view, which is this view right here. This view is a different view, and there's too many things to click. So I have been putting the assignments in the calendar view. We are going to click on this assignment here, the working papers 3-3. Just like in the previous working papers, when we do a working paper for a section in the book, it will have a work together piece and an on your own piece. When you are done with both of them, the program brings you back to this page, and this is where you click to turn it in. So we are going to begin. Like I said, make sure you have a piece of scrap paper, and I just thought of that, and a pencil. If you need to pause the video, please pause the video. Okay, so we are going to do work together 3-3. We are going to click on this. Again, now we are starting to increase the number of transactions that we are journaling. So this is what I want you to write on the piece of paper so that we do not miss any. On the piece of paper, I want you to write that we are going to have a journal entry for the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. 6. So we have a total of 6 transactions. As soon as we record one, we are going to check off the date on the list that we just made. That way we can keep track when we're looking at everything. So please pause the video and make a list of the dates. Again, the dates are found here. Once you have completed that and you have unpaused the video, remember you can move this around to be where you need it so you can see it. I like to have it next to it so I can look at the transactions and then see the chart of accounts for the company. As you notice throughout this whole example, 3-1, 3-2, and now 3-3 work together, we are doing the accounting for Norma Dirks. And that's the consistency in the textbook. Each work together will be based on the same business, and so will the on your owns. All right, so let's start. We are now going to journal these transactions. We are journaling them on page 1 of the journal. The first thing we always do is type the date. Click on the date box. Do we type in the month of April even though we typed it up here? Answer the question in your head. Now I'm going to tell you. The answer is no. We only write it at the top of the column on that first line of the page of the journal. But every time we have a new page, you have to begin it the same way. Now we are going to journal the 12th. Type in the 12th. Hit your tab key. It says we paid cash for rent. Cash for rent. So what's coming in? What's going out? When you're looking at this and you look at the rent, you go, I have no idea. And that's possible. If you're not sure, click the chart of accounts and look for something that might have to do with rent in the name of the account. Think about this. Every time we've journaled something, the name of the account has been there. So if it says that, we paid cash for rent, then it would be rent expense. Rent expense is the debit. The reason it is the debit is the bill came in. Type in rent expense. Now we need to add our document number. C4. Remember, pause if you need to. The debit, because the bill came in, looks like $650 to me. I hope I'm right. All right, then you can click underneath it. Remember, the first line of the journal entry is the debit. The second line is the credit. What happened? Cash went out. Out is the debit. So you type in the word cash, tab over to the credit column, and type in 650. Always remember, every journal entry will have a debit and a credit part. Now on your pad of paper, I want you to check off the 12th. This is going to help us keep track of where we are with everything. If you get interrupted, you can look at your pad and go, oh, I'm on the 19th. Okay, we are on the 13th. So now let's take a look at what happened on the 13th. So we put 13th in the date box. Tab over. Received cash from sales. Again, what came in? In your mind or out loud? You're right. Cash came in. We received cash. That is the debit. Move over. What is the document number? Yes, T13. Tab over. Since cash came in, do we debit or credit? Yes, we debit. We received cash for $2,500. Now, we have to record the sale of it. So if you don't remember what account where you record sales, where do you go? Yeah, you go to the list. Go to the chart of accounts. Do you see sales anywhere in here? Yeah, right here, under the revenue section. So the account title that you are going to type to record that we received the cash from the sales is sales. Then you're going to tab over. Sales is walking out the door. That is the $2,500. Beautiful. You've just journaled your second one. If you took my advice and have your piece of paper, check off the 13th on the piece of paper. Now you know that you are on the 14th. There is no way to check off these numbers or draw a line through them as you go when we're working with this program. So that's why I wrote these dates down. Now I know if I lose track or I start thinking about something else, I know where I am. I'm on the 14th. All right, so on line 15 of the journal, type in the date, the 14th. Now let's analyze this. What happened? Okay, we sold services. When we're selling services, that's sales. So a sale happened. Then we have to think of how did they pay for it? Did they pay cash for it? Or are we receiving it later? If we received cash for it, it would say that we received cash. But it does not say that. It has those two words, on account, which means we're receiving it later. It also gives you a clue that it's K-SPA, is the person who purchased it. You can go to the chart of accounts, look for an account title with K-Spot in the name, because remember, we have to keep track of who owes us money. So we're receiving it. So since sales is the credit walking out the door, then accounts receivable has got to be the debit. You can triple click it, Control V it, or type it. All right, so that is the debit. The debit for $480. What did I forget? Yes, I forgot the document number. So the document number on the 14th is an S1. S1. Now, sold services on account, which means if we sold something, that is sales. We always have to keep track of everything that we sell. Since the sales are walking out the door, like when we buy something from Walmart, that is the credit. All right, again, if you need to pause the video, I'm talking slower this time. This way you can take your time and think about this, just like we talk about it in class. So now my next step is to go to my pad of paper, check off the 14th. All right, so now we're on the 19th. What happened on the 19th? We paid cash for electric bill. Beautiful. We start with the date. Electric bill. It's a bill. What is a bill? Small cost to do in business. Remember a bill, now what is it? Is a bill an asset, a liability, an equity, revenue, or expense? You're right, it's an expense because it's a bill that comes in every month that you have to pay. Electric bill is which one of these? Yes, you got it. It's utilities expense. Utilities expense is the debit. I'm spelling it wrong. And it's telling me because it's turning red. All right, utilities expense. C5. $220. Now that's the debit part. What's the credit? What's walking out the door? We paid cash for it. Cash is walking out the door. That is the credit. All right. Now go to your piece of paper. Mark off the 19th. Now you know that the next thing that we have to journal happened on the 20th. So now we're going to analyze the 20th. On the 20th, we received cash on account from K-Spot for $255. So on the 20th, what came in? What did we receive? What came in? Yes, cash came in. R2. How much cash did we receive? What's the debit? Yep, $255. So if cash came in and K-Spot paid her bill, then that has to be what's going out. The receivable, when we allowed them to charge it, is now less. So we take it off the bill. I'm just going to go up here and triple click and hit Control C and then hold down the Control and hit Control V, and then that will copy and paste it into the cell, and hopefully I've spelled and done everything right. $255 now goes in the credit. Again, this shows, and I'm going to have you guys do this, I am going to give you a journal like this and you're going to write the transaction, because then that shows you how it works. When you look at this and say, oh, cash came in, accounts receivable went out, oh, they must have paid on their account. That's the the click that I want to see. All right, now take out your pen. Check off the 20th. You are done with that. Now we're going to do the last one for the 3-3 work together, which is on the 21st. Ooh, we paid cash to the owner as a withdrawal of equity. Interesting. So the owner took out cash. They drew it out. It's a withdrawal. So we know that cash is the credit. And if you need to do this sometimes, if you need to record the credit first and then figure out the debit, I'm okay with that. Just don't forget that you have to put in a debit. So if cash is going out the door and the owner took it because they have a right, look at your chart of accounts to make sure that you're inputting in the correct title. So we know that if it has to do with the owner, it's part of equity. And we are going to draw it out of Norma Dirk's drawing. That, I think I got to do control. Maybe I can right click on the mouse. I don't know. Let's see. Control V. So the Norma Dirk's drawing actually says that the person drew it out of their business. They must have written a check because we're at C6 and they took out the $1,500. All right. If you need to take a picture of this, pause the video, take a picture of it, because this will help you when you have to do the on your own. The on your own will be a different business and the numbers will be different, but I believe everything is pretty much the same, so it reinforces what we just did. So pause the video and take a picture. Now, if you're happy with what you've done, remember to hit save and continue. It will automatically take you to 3-3 on your own. See how similar this looks to hopefully the picture that you took, but the amounts are different. This is also Michelle Sullivan. She owns Sullivan's Service Center. So when you look at the chart of accounts, the equity titles for the accounts are different. Who they owe are different. Who owes us is different. So please realize that when you do it. When you are done, hit save and continue, and then go ahead and click the I'm done, submit my assignment. I hope this video helped. Please let me know if me talking slower is better, but it added 10 minutes, so it's up to you guys. Thank you for listening. I hope this helps. I'll see you in class.